need to reproduce our DNA. You see, if we really believe God is going to raise up a generation to feed, to lead, then we need to know what kind of generation He is building. And as a church, we need to kind of set our antennas up, right? Not just to become these people ourselves, but also to spot these qualities in the youth and the people we are reaching out to. Because we're not just growing a crowd, we are growing disciples here. So let me go straight to the point. What does a EVO youth look like? Okay, I believe there are 3 qualities we must carry. And the first is the most important to me, okay? Humility. I want to say this, a EVO youth is humble. They don't chase titles or for applause. They lead by serving, not just showing off. They celebrate and they lift others up. You see, today, leadership is often marketed as status. Right? In school, we see it. Be a prefect, be a CCA leader, class chairman, so people respect you. On social media, people fight for attention, for clout, or the biggest platform. But the danger is that when leadership is about power, 2 things will happen. If the title is gone, insecurity flows. And if the title stays, pride grows. But God's vision of leadership is different. Real leadership starts with humility. Listen, humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. It's being confident enough to listen, secure enough to admit mistakes, empathetic enough to serve instead to, show off. You see, in my reflection, that's what I love about the boy in John 6. He didn't say, or rather it wasn't recorded at all, but like, what if I give this, will my name be remembered? Or in fact, Andrew called his gift insignificant. What are they for so many? But the boy gave anyway. Not for the status, not for the applause, not even for credit. And notice this, even the Bible didn't even record his name, for whatever reason it is. But yet, thousands were fed. The boy remained anonymous, but his humility left a legacy. You see, that's the kind of leader God is calling you to be. You don't need the spotlight to make a difference. In fact, some of the most powerful leaderships happens when no one is watching. It's in the everyday moments, choosing to listen instead of always proving you're right. Owning your mistakes instead of covering them up. Serving others even when no one, must come up to you and say, thank you for serving. So this is where I think we can get better at. Maybe it's for us to encourage a friend privately. Maybe it's, cleaning up with the team together after today, after the event without being asked. Maybe it's apologizing first when you messed up. To do it without announcing it, don't have to post about it, without needing recognition. Because humility isn't about being seen, it's about being true. So now, youth leaders here, when you reach out to your friends, when you invite friends, I want you to pay attention to the little things to discern whether they are, proud or they are leading genuinely. Pay attention to the ones who listen more than they speak, who doesn't interrupt others to feel smarter, the ones who stay behind to help out when no one is looking, the ones who show kindness without demanding recognition. That's the humility I'm looking for. That's leadership in the making, and those are potential markers of who we want to journey with us at EVO. Now, the second quality is generous. So a EVO youth is generous. Okay, they don't just give leftovers, they give in a way that reflects God's heart. Now, we live in a world that gives a lot. Okay, I must say today, the world gives a lot, output-wise. Okay, but often for the wrong reasons. We sometimes give in exchange for likes, for validation, for attention. The world calls that or names that generosity, but it's actually self-promotion. You see, Jesus said it clearly in the Bible, love your neighbor as yourself, and not love when it's convenient. You see, the boy didn't say, let me eat first, then you can have the scraps, then you distribute to the rest. He just gave everything, all the loaves and all the fishes. And that's being radical, given that it probably meant that he had nothing left to, for this journey. So here's the challenge. True generosity will cost you. It will cost you time, it will cost you energy, it will cost you comfort, your pride, sometimes money. But it multiplies in other areas. So for the youths here, I want to challenge you, give in a way that actually costs you something. Maybe it's sacrificing your time to help a classmate, sharing your allowance to bless someone in need, or choosing to be fully present for a friend, instead being glued to your phone. And when you are out with your new friends, notice, I want you to begin to notice, right, the ones who show generosity. The ones who are willing to even share their homework notes without complaining, like, oh, this is mine. Or the ones who checks if everyone else has eaten before they start eating. Small things, right? The ones who share their snacks freely or helps without needing recognition. That's the DNA we want. Right? Not flashy, not conditioned, but genuine, consistent generosity. So when these youth, I really imagine when they step up in EVO, right, God can use their heart to really impact their generation. And now the third quality is responsible. A EVO youth is responsible. Okay, so they don't wait for someone else to act, they step up on their own. So just this year, right, I was talking to one of the youths, and they shared with me, like, he was sharing about how his friend was being bullied in school. But the interesting thing is that he told me later that, I wish, in reflection, right, I wish I could have done something. But in the moment, he didn't. He hesitated. In fact, he also said, maybe somebody else will step in. Or maybe somehow the situation will fix itself. And the scary thing is that this isn't just that one particular person. I've heard this story many, many times from multiple youths. And that shows me something important, that the younger generation is very reflective, which is good. But too often, reflection sometimes doesn't lead us to action. Right? We wait, we hesitate, we hope somebody else will take the responsibility. So this is one of the most sobering patterns I've noticed among this generation, which is hesitation. We care deeply, we reflect a lot, but too often we stop at just reflection. We too easily scroll past injustice. We talk a lot about the problems, but we don't always take responsibility to act. Psychologists even call this the bystander effect, where people assume someone else will step in so they don't. And studies shows that, even when a crowd watches a crisis happening in front of them, right, the more people there are, the less likely anyone is going to act. The responsibility gets diffused. And this is why it matters to us. When we don't step in, needs will go unmet. The brokenness you see around the world will continue. The world will not change. Now, the Bible shows us a different picture. And in Isaiah 6:8, the prophet writes, "Then I heard the Lord's voice saying, 'Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?' And Isaiah said, 'I'm here, send me.'" You see, what I find fascinating is that God didn't force Isaiah, right? He invited. He looked for someone willing. And Isaiah, honestly, he didn't have a perfect resume. He didn't have all the answers. He simply said, "I'm here, send me." And to me, that's that first step of taking responsibility. It's not waiting for, God, you will find someone better later on. It's saying, "God, if you're asking, I am available. If I see a need, I'll step in." You see, again, the boy could have stayed quiet, right? He could have hide his lunch, run into a crowd, cannot find him already, right? He could have assumed someone else had more to give. I mean, he's probably sitting with a bunch of adults. But when the moment came, he said with his actions, right? By giving, "I'm here, use me." And God multiplied it. And this is the kind of youth we want in EVO. Not just purely reflective, but they also respond. Not just people who see the problems, but people who say, "If I see it, I will own it." So here's the challenge to all the youth, right? Next time you see a need, don't wait for someone else to step in. Don't wait for your leader to step in. If you see, even in school, your classmate being bullied, be the one to defend. Stand up. If you see a friend struggling, be the one to check it. If you notice something in church that can be better, approach your leader and suggest. Be the one to find ways to improve it. Don't let fear or excuses keep you from action. Take responsibility. And also, this is how you can also spot responsible youths, right? Youths who already show initiative in small ways. Of course, they help others. They step up in group projects. They even just picking up after themselves without being told. Youths who care enough to ask questions or give feedback. Youths who show concern when someone is left out or hurting. These are signs of a responsible heart. Now, the good news is that, of course, no one comes perfect, right? Responsibility can be nurtured. Even if a youth is shy or hesitant at first, but, I believe that we have a space here where responsibility is encouraged. They can grow into leaders who can carry weight for others. So, when we talk about the mark of a EVO youth, this is the picture we're painting. Humble, generous, responsible. Right? They are willing to serve without needing the spotlight, without needing the title. They are willing to give, not just their leftovers, but their best. They are willing to step in instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. And let me make this very clear, we're not looking for perfect people. Right? No one in this room, no one you'll meet outside is perfect. The boy in the John passage wasn't perfect. The disciples weren't perfect. Even, some of the heroes in the Bible was certainly far from perfect. You see, what matters is not perfections, but, when we notice a potential. And that's why I believe as a church, we need to begin to spot. When you're in school, when you're out EVing, LBFing, in your friend circles, start noticing the ones who will even spark, small sparks of like humility, generosity, or responsibility. Right? You won't get someone who is a leader come in as a leader. No, they may not look like a leader yet, but those are just potential that, they are the future leaders God wants to raise in EVO. So I want to land with this. No, we are not just looking for those qualities out there in the youth only, right? It's just like today, okay, everyone go find people, right? But I just want to say also, there's a reason why I call it reproduce DNA. We've got to leave them in here, in our own lives first. To reproduce DNA, we first need to carry the DNA ourselves. It must be inside of us. It's just, this phrase, leadership, is just purely leadership. If we want to raise humble leaders, we ourselves must walk in humility. If we want to inspire generosity, we ourselves initiate living with open hands. If we want to see responsibility rise in the next generation, then we ourselves must say, I will bear the burden, and it's on me. You see, this is why Isaiah 6:8 isn't just a call for for us to just paint a picture for some youth in the future. It's also a call for all of us today to say, I'm here, send me. That this is the response of a leader, this is the heartbeat of a church that doesn't just dream of a better future, but actually build ourselves there. So yes, we are spotting for the next generation, but before we do that, let's take the first step. Let's become the church we want to build. Let's be the people who will be used by God to feed a generation.